was born in Salt Lake, went to school here, got my 2 degrees, one in English and one in law degree at the University of Utah. I practiced law in a small firm here for 2 years. Then I went to the Attorney General's office for 3. Then I was the director of the State Division of Securities for 5. And then I came on board here in 1990. So those are my 40 some odd years of being a lawyer. I've been involved in a lot of other local nonprofits. I've appreciated that work. It's all been kind of similar, and we're all kind of in the same boat, trying to wrestle for funds and do the things that we can do and do good things. So public service has been an important thing for me. It's always nice to feel like I've had a white hat on, and it's good to have lawyers working for me instead of having more clients are lovely, but it's nice to direct the legal staff and to be able to talk to them and to be a lawyer. It's been important in the job, I think, to be a lawyer and understand the culture and the vernacular and the practice and kind of what's important and what lawyers are thinking. So it's been a great career. It's amazing. When we started out, I was thinking, certainly technology is blown up and is what it is and still getting better. The mission of the bar, I think, and I'll talk about those things a little bit more. The mission of the bar has been better defined, I think, which has been helpful. The bar's financial information has been more carefully taken care of, in those 30 years. I think services have expanded. So, for example, technology, which has exploded all over. The website started, e-bulletins were created. We regularly, email, mail, and as you do now, the members of the bar, I should say licensees. I never used the word member when I was here, the licensees. The database, when I was first here, our membership database was on 3x5 cards. And there were 5,500 lawyers. And now there's over 14,000. And that's a lot. It's a big increase. The accounting has improved, the record keeping has improved, I think. Transparency has improved. The PC networks, we had to put in the PC networks. There was really nothing here when I came on board. And I came at a time when the bar's finances were in trouble, and those have improved greatly thanks to good fiscal management by the Bar Commission and the bar presidents, great record keeping, and really good people in the financial department. So that's been a really nice thing. When it comes to that, the mission of the bar was never really well defined back in the day. It was kind of, people thought they were having to join a bar association, which they still kind of do, sadly. But the bar, I think, has expanded what it's done. And the Keller decision was a big impact on kind of helping focus on what the bar should be doing. And so many things were compared to what was appropriate and what was permitted based upon getting licensing fees, that it kind of helped us all hone, I think, what the focus was, and to at least understand that there were regulatory services that had to be done efficiently, but the public and lawyer services were very important, and they were certainly part of that. So it helped us define that, I think, and as time went along, I think put us in a better position for issues that it's facing today. And services have expanded so greatly. I had to sit down and write a few. The Access to Justice initiatives, the office here, the emphasis on pro bono, modest means panel. Certainly the sandbox now started out as having some involvement and wanting to look at how to do a better job of getting resources and getting help to lower income people and people that couldn't afford what most can afford. And to be able to do that, certainly the licensed legal practitioner was an attempt to lower fees and to lower fees and to provide an opportunity for people to be able to get certain types of legal work done that could be done by non-lawyers, but in a way that was affordable. And that was a great thing to start. The Consumer Assistance Program was thought of to help lawyers out of the disciplinary process and help the public understand a little better what their expectations should be, and just help communications between the public and their lawyers. And that's been a really good thing because it has, I think, staved off a lot of complaints going further and saved a lot of work for the Office of Professional Conduct, and been a real benefit to both public and the lawyers. Lawyer services, I was thinking, that kind of developed over the years. And of course, it's a long time. 31 years is a long time. And I will say this, most of these things have only improved in the last 4 years. So I have to commend bar leadership and Elizabeth and the staff, because so many things are so much better. And it's nice to see that. I think it's really gratifying to see what the foundation was set for, to be able to be taken and improved by really good people and really good leaders. The bar has always had the fortune of having really good women and men in leadership positions on the bar commission and section leaderships and committees and bar presidents and executive committees. It's very satisfying to know that it's an organization with such an important mission, that has such people willing to sacrifice so much of their time and billable hours in order to do a really good thing, and something that is seldom really recognized by the 14,000 lawyers out there. For example, lawyer services. Reciprocity, as we currently have it right now, existed a long time ago, but didn't for a long time. So the states of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho got together and wanted to facilitate admissions, the admissions process, and Idaho said, we can't do it without Utah. So the four of us got together and talked about how to facilitate admissions processes, and that led into reciprocity between the four of us, and it just spread really to the rest of the country. So we take credit for it, which is now easier to do, and it's limited, but it's still not quite the same onus of having to take a bar examination in other states simply because you needed to practice there, or what they have. Online benefits have improved over the years. The people that provide it have changed, and they've all been really good. Something lawyers need to avail themselves of, and it's hard to communicate with them about. The Leadership Academy, we provide more awards now, and I think it's always important to recognize the really good people that do so many good things in the profession, and to let them know they're appreciated. I think that serves to not only let them know we appreciate it, but also as an example to other people that can do the same thing and kind of get involved as they do. The well-being was a more recent initiative, thanks to the court, and thanks to just the bar wanting to go and recognize, as I think we had for a long time, that the lawyers were growing more and more dissatisfied, and it was harder and harder for them to want to practice and to come into the practice. That too was also one of the reasons for the new lawyer training program, is because young lawyers were coming in and there was less satisfaction among them. So it was an attempt to mentor them and to show them and to guide them and to give them some relationship and affinity to other lawyers. And, over time, the practice of law has felt like less of a profession and more of a business. And that's disconcerting. As we know, for you, if you're lawyers, because there's so many, it seems a little distancing from what it used to be, where everybody kind of knew each other. And that's just the nature of what things have happened. Practice Portal was the concept that came about to kind of facilitate communications between lawyers and the bar, and to get information out and be able to have them understand a little bit easier instead of making phone calls. And finally, in admissions, the uniform bar examination, and multi-state professional, we're trying to help qualify lawyers in examinations that were reasonable for them to pass in order to become lawyers. So that's my very long, rambling explanation of, I think, kind of has some of the things that have been different. And I'm sure I've missed some, but it was a long time, and a lot happened, and it was a lot technological bound and size, and because leaders, I think, wanted to do more and more, and took their roles. Not that they always didn't, because we've always had the opportunity of really good people in these positions. positions. But I think the practice in society and technology has kind of availed itself towards expansion of so many things. And it's nice to see, that we're just not regulatory, which is important for the public, but services to the public and services to lawyers, I think make it satisfying and enjoyable place for everybody to be. Growth is always hard, and growth in programs was hard to initiate and find the right people to get them started, and people who are committed could take something like new lawyer training and the consumer assistance program and trust them to run with it and to be able to take direction and to be able to see what needed to be done as we try to evolve it into something that we hope it would be. Those were really great challenges. I think there's always been an issue with concern with public sentiment about the judiciary. That third branch of government, which we rely upon, which gets criticized because of its opinions, when it's populated by such fine women and men who make decisions based on the law and the facts, and they don't always make everybody happy, and it's too bad they're criticized when that happens. And that's been a constant growing issue. One of the first things that happened, the bar used to appoint two people to the nominating commission. And then the legislature decided they didn't want the bar to have that influence. So we were able to convince them to at least, we would nominate lawyers, the governor would appoint the nominating commissions for judges. And I think our impact on those things have kind of waned over the years, which is too bad. But I think we're kind of suffering as a result of that. And we have a great judiciary. It's been consistent, again, populated by so many good people willing to often sacrifice to be able to take those positions and do it. So those things have been very different. Challenges were really just growth of the bar, growth of the programs and managing those, and heightened sense of need to serve the public. There's so many things, and we try to do everything we can. And there's only so many resources we have, but that's been a growing concern, and wanting to support legal aid, legal services, and other low-income service organizations has consistently been a challenge, only because we don't have the resources we wish we had. Nobody really does, and yet a lot of really good things happen. There are a lot of really good programs, and hopefully a lot of people are being helped, and hopefully a lot of it's being done. And I think so, and that's been a nice thing, but that will continue to be an issue. I truly enjoyed the bar leadership that I was able to work with, and truly appreciated the staff I had and all the things that they were willing to do and all the work they put in. So it really comes down to appreciating people and feeling like we had a real mission. Not that practicing law didn't do that, but it's a different sense of satisfaction, feeling you have the white hat on in even government service and here. Feels like there's a broader perspective in my mind, and I always really enjoyed that, feeling like each day I came to work and there were good things to do. There were good things to do to help organize not just the admissions and the licensing and the data problems and all those things, but watching good things happen that were helping the public and the lawyers. That was lovely. I think that's nice because it's important. Certainly, it's mandatory CLE to get your professionalism and your ethics credits, and be able to sit down and to think about that, and to have situational circumstances that you understand and are involved in, and hopefully can recognize the ethical issues that you're facing when you do that. And most do. And I think it helps the public understand that we're concerned with lawyer behavior. And there are certain standards, and those standards, ethical standards, have changed and tightened up, I think, over the years as a necessity. And the rules of professionalism, I think, has been a really good thing, so that it's not just an ethical matter, it's a professional matter. and this involves lawyers and clients, and it helps us all think about it as it's grown. Back in the day, everybody knew everybody, so you had a reputation, which you still do, but you could call somebody and know them, and you could deal with them, and you didn't have to be the Rambo prosecutor or the Rambo plaintiff or defendant. I think there's more civility back then because you saw each other on the street corner, you saw each other in court, and there was a lot more involvement. And, the courthouses were far more open, and you could walk in the judge's chambers and you see somebody in the little cafe down the bottom of the old building. And those things have changed just because we've grown, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I think, as I mentioned before, as we turn more into what seems like a business and profession to many people, it's kind of made people disassociate those personal relationships, which is why involvement in the bar and section involvement helps the collegiality, and it makes it so you can pick up the phone and be professional with somebody and not just think you have to be a jerk because you think you're a jerk. What values would guide the bar? I think it's the same values that have guided the bar. Most lawyers truly want to do good by their clients. They truly want to represent them well within the bounds of the law. They want to do what they can to promote the things that work, to promote justice, to promote equality, to promote protection, to protect the little people, so to speak. To obey and defend the Constitution, and but for lawyers, life would be very different. As rights seem to be imposed upon, lawyers are there to stand up and to work to make sure that doesn't happen, that people have somebody on their side. And I think that's a good thing that needs to continue, particularly as we as a society become more disassociated as a result of technology, and lacks kind of the personal relationship. And I think it's easier then to become less concerned about those things and about the individuals. So I think the bar continues to be able to do that. What I mean the bar, I mean the lawyers, the profession. And I think they do care, which I think is the key. Not everybody cares as much as everybody else, but I think it's something that draws us to the profession almost as much as anything else, hopefully.
So what would you like to leave for the next generation of legal professionals?
What would I like to leave? I think I want to leave them a legacy of understanding that we are a nation of laws, where the rule of law prevails, and no person is above that, and the Constitution continues to be our guiding star, and laws which are enacted and which are obeyed give us a society which makes sense, and a society which is stable, and a society in which people can prosper. And so recognizing the fundamental nature of the law and of what is intended by having some kind of governance provides that stability and that sense of hope, that sense of progress that can be made within the bounds of the law.